Hi everyone, it's Nat here. Hope you're all doing well. I'm on with my next video for my September creative design team project for Tracie Fox using her Witches Tea Party digital. So I want to make some ephemera to go into my journal today. So I have this paper bag I found in my stash and I've cut the bottom of it off. I wanted to use the top bit, but then I saw that the bottom makes those really cool pockets that everyone's been doing. So I thought I'd give one of them a go. So I've got my black gesso there because when I looked inside, it was very white. So I'm just painting the whole inside with black. Pretty messy, but I don't mind. I think it will go with the theme quite nicely. So I've put that to the side to dry, and I have one of these, I think they're Creep-On playing card kit that Tracie has put out recently. And I thought one of them would look really cool in the journal. So I'm just corner rounding the corners there and inking around it. I want to back that onto some of my black cardstock. Now that cardstock's secondhand, so I don't stick it right to the edge because the edges are a bit messed up and that from being so old. So I'm just trimming around it now. I think I leave a really little border as well. So this is for another little project I'm doing while I'm waiting for my pockets to dry. So again, I just corner around the black cardstock backing now. So I had these cards in my stash. I just went through my stash and grabbed out things that I found that were purple. So I have this corner stamp and I thought it'd look really nice on the corner around the frame there. So I'm framing the frame. And my little creepy card fits really nicely within that frame, so I thought that would be a good way to use it for my project. I'm figuring which side to fold in now because one's shorter than the other. And I've got some more of the material that I used to back my cover with. I thought I'd use some of the scraps for this as a background as well. It goes really nicely with the card too because the card has the cobwebs on it. I'm using my stick glue again to stick it down because it just helps it all smooth out nicely. And just check the position because I don't want any of the edges to show. I want it to be covered when you close the window on it. Then I close it off so I can see where to position my card nicely. You could do a window on the frame as well, but it doesn't really need it, so I decided not to put one on. And I just stick that down. So now I'll glue around the frame to stick the card piece to the frame there. I really enjoy grabbing things that I've got in my stash from the secondhand shops and finding ways to use them in my journals. That's the background piece from the kit, and I want to rip a couple of pieces of that out to fit into the card as writing spots. I'm having to measure everything twice today before I do anything. I think my brain hasn't woken up yet. One of the measurements I did for something was way off and I had to redo it. and then I grabbed the wrong ink. So I'm just going around the edges. The black ink looks so nice with these background pieces. So I'm glad I remembered to ink these bits. I'm going to have to put out big letters that say ink and stick it to my table to remind me to ink things. I mean, I don't ink everything I put in every journal. It just depends on the style that I'm doing and if there's sort of obvious white edges that need a bit of inking. So I just stick these two pieces in either side of the inside of my card. That makes an interesting embellishment for my journal. So now I'm on to the next project. I have these two pieces. I can't even remember what these are meant to be used for, whether they're tags, but they're the same. And I thought it would be fun just to make a little booklet to slip into one of my pockets. So I'm using the leftover background piece there and I'm just folding it over. And that will be the cover, the base of the cover of my little booklet. I thought that would be the easiest way to do it. Then I'm inking around my first piece there and I'll stick that on top of the page of my folded over cover piece. Then I have some of my purple paper here that I want to use for a couple of pages and I'm cutting it down to, I think it's about 5 3/4 by 5 3/4 inches. I think that's what I did wrong the first time. I measured my little cover pieces and somehow cut these really short, so I had to redo it. Just fold them over to make my pages. I don't want many pages in this. My journal's getting too bulky as it is, so it definitely won't be over embellished. So now that I've stuck the front piece on, I can cut around that to get the whole cover the right shape. And then I'll cut out the other piece here to stick onto the back. My daughter's just cooked sausages in the air fryer and all I can smell is sausages. I'm right up the other end of the house too and it just stinks like sausages, making me hungry. So now I have to stick this piece down. Now when I put it down, I'm making sure it's flush with the outside of the back cover there. Doesn't matter if there's a gap on the spine, but I really want to get it sort of flush with the outside edges. More inking. Does look so nice though. Checking that my pages fit and they're a bit long, so I'll just grab my knife to trim them down. And then I can use the cover to trace around so I can cut my pages to fit the design. Then I just cut within the lines a bit, a couple of millimetres, so they fit in nicely and there's a bit of room so that when I'm sewing the pages in, if they move a little bit, they're not going to stick out. They fit really nicely. So now I'm looking through my stencil book and I found this, I think it's the Gothic one from Witchcraft Do You Do? I know there's a Gothic and an Elven and a Gothic one, and they're both beautiful. I always say Elven and Dwarven, but I'm pretty sure it's Gothic. And I thought that'd be, I haven't used it yet, and I thought, oh, perfect for this project. So I thought it'd be nice to stencil some of those on with my black distress ink onto the cover, inside covers there. Decided to ink around the edges of the pages because it just looks a bit better with all the ink I've got everywhere on the covers. So now I've got to sew my signature in. So I'm just using my awl there to poke 3 little holes to help guide my needle. I could just poke them with the needle, but sometimes it's a bit difficult to get it through exactly where I want it. So I thought I'd create some little pilot holes. So I'm just doing a 3-hole pamphlet stitch here with some black string and cotton. So I might embellish the book more. I'll wait and see how thick my journal's getting first. But I didn't want this too thick. It needs to slide into a pocket somewhere, so I will see which pocket I'm going to put in and then decide whether I want to embellish it more. So now I'm back to my bag. And I've got one of the pockets from the kit and I've just cut the little flaps off, inking around it. And I'm going to slip this into the bottom of my bag because it fits really nicely in there. So I stick it in there and then I look and I've got it really crooked. So I pull it out, re-glue it and try again. I don't get the placement exactly where I want it, but it's not so crooked, which is good. So I just use my stick glue and I think my upside down ink to try and press it down. So that's the base of it done. Now I have a cover piece. I can't remember if that was one of the pockets that I've trimmed down as well, but it's beautiful. So I want to put that on the top. And I've got one of my tabs. That's from the Vasson whale tail tab from, I grabbed that from Witchcraft Do You Do. I'll have to thank Wilma, I think, for that. I think Wilma showed us that in one of her videos and I wanted to get one. I couldn't figure out how to. And then the lovely Kerry at Witchcraft Do You Do got some in store. So I jumped over and grabbed one straight away. And I've used the Stamping Up stamp on there to make it look nice. So I put the tab on to help open up the pocket when it's in the journal. And I'll just stick this piece on top, which is lovely. There's my little bag pocket to put in the journal. So you can put all sorts in those. You could fit a fair bit in there, but I've got this. I think it might be an ATC, and I'd have to measure it to make sure it's the right dimensions, but a little card that I made ages ago. I thought I'd raid my stash for this project and see if there's anything I've made previously that would go into it. So I've got the top of the bag there, and I'm just folding over this little lip on the gusset, and that will help us know that there's an extra pocket there. So I'm just sticking that folded bit down there. So that creates like 2 side pockets there. Then I realised, I mean, these bags are very shiny, so I thought a bit of ink might just grunge it up a bit. So now I stick the top and the bottom down of that outside side pocket. Then I'll do the same with the pocket that it's stuck to. So two nice tucks there. And then I stick the bottom together to create a nice big tag pocket from the top there. And it still opens up on the right-hand gusset there, which you could make into more pockets than that, but I think I've got enough pockets here. So I do stick the inside part of that gusset just to the top of my pocket. So it still opens up to put the tag in, which you can see there, but it just sticks that gusset bit down. Then I decide I'll embellish it with some of my secondhand laces. I've got a flower there that I cut out of, I think it come from a shirt, the lace from a shirt. So I've just taken the flower out of that. And then I'm looking for a bit of lace that I can stick into that gusset side. Then I use my fabric glue to stick all of my laces down. I usually stick it down in sort of sections and that rather than doing the whole lot at once. And I use my grease-proof paper to press it down so it doesn't stick to my fingers. Whoever thought of that is a genius. Just trimming off my flower a bit more. Stick my bottle of glue on there to hold it on for a bit until the glue gets nice and tacky. So I find that that purple piece of lace looks the best with just a little bit of the scalloped edge poking out. So I'll stick the majority of it into that gusset piece. And then I'll stick the gusset together. Trim off the edges, and that's my triple pocket made out of my paper bag, all finished and ready to go in my journal. My lace was a bit crooked, so I just repositioned that bottom bit there. So that was quite a productive craft session for a change, and I made some awesome pieces to put in my Witches Tea Party journal. So we have this card. So the card base was in my stash and I found it was purple. I thought that would be nice to play around with. And I put the playing card in there. I love these, they're really cute. I thought that could be the witch's minion. So just did a bit of simple stamping. You can open it up and there's journaling space, so it can either be slipped in a pocket or stuck to the page to be opened. Made this little booklet with these two pieces. They're the same. I'll probably embellish this more, but I didn't want to do too much of that on camera because this will be long enough with what I've made here. And I've got to keep some surprises for the flip through in a couple of days. So just open that up. Did some awesome stenciling with the stencils that I grabbed from Kerry at Witchcraft DD. Beautiful stencils. And just put some of my dyed purple pages in there. Then we've got a bag, which I cut the bottom off because I did initially just want this piece. But then I thought, oh, I remember seeing heaps of people do these little pocket things with your bag bases. So I thought I'd give that a go because I haven't done that yet. So that can be stuck to a page and then you can use the tab to open it up. And you can put little bits and pieces in there. And then I made this, which is a multi-pocket with the top of the bag. So I just utilised all the things, folds and gussets that were in the bag to make various pockets. So we do have a pocket there. We have a pocket there. This you could make a pocket, but I decided to stick it down with some lace in there because I've got enough pockets and my journal's getting rather large. And then we've got a nice big tag pocket at the back as well. And I've closed it off at the bottom here. Mostly closed it off. I think I've still got a bit there that I need to stick down. So that is it for my videos for my Witches Tea Party journal for the design team for Tracie Fox Creative. I will be on for a flip through of my completed journal in a couple of days. So that was a lot of fun making those. The link will be below to Tracie's social media and the Witches Tea Party digital. I am using a couple of bits and pieces of other digitals of Tracie's, but I think I'll link them in my journal flip through video for you. Also check out what the other design team members have been doing because they've been doing some awesome bits and pieces as well. I know Emily also used this kit recently and it was amazing what she made with it. So you can check that out too. So take care, be good, and I will see you again soon. Bye.